Alrighty, so today, guys, we are going to talk about the gear ratio in fishing reels, uh, both spinning and bait casting. I'm going to start with kind of explaining what the numbers mean, and then after I explain that, I'm going to I've never really paid attention to gear ratio until kind of recently. I had always paid attention to the price of the reel. You know, I've my most expensive reel. Well, it's actually that one, but one of my most expensive reels is this guy here. He was like 49 bucks. The Abu Garcia Cardinal SX30. I don't know if they still make this. Obviously, it's been a little while since I looked for a fishing reel, but it's a pretty good reel for the price. I'm not doing a review on it, but I do like this reel. I don't use it very much anymore just because I've changed, but I keep it there as a backup if I ever need it, and I would easily fish all day on that. But the numbers on your bait caster or spinning reel, this one doesn't have them. So what you can do if you don't have numbers is you can put a little mark on your spool, or you can put a little piece of tape like I did there, and you can count how many times that mark comes around to you when you bring the spool around. So like this one here, I did it yesterday, but this one here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know this is a 6 something something reel. So like with the spinning reel here, just because I know this one has the numbers on it, hopefully you can see that it's a 5 1-to-1. And so what 5 1-to-1 means is every time your reel goes around one time, your line or your spool goes around 5 times, and then that 1 is 0.1, so it's 5.1 times on this reel. And then the third number, I don't know if you can see it, but the third number there is a 1, and that means for every 1 rotation. So 99, probably 100% of reels, it's just the last number is always going to be 1, being 1 rotation. And then the second number there, your point, is like a fraction. So like if you have a 6 4-to-1 gear ratio reel, you're going to have that spool go around 6 times, and then 0.4 of the whatever radius, circular distance of the spool. So that's what those numbers mean. Really, I've always just, since I started paying attention to the spool speed, I've always just kind of paid attention to the first number. The only time it would really matter, and I don't even know if they make them, if it's like a 6 8-to-1, then you're pretty close to a 7 gear ratio reel. But generally speaking, they're going to be in the lower ends of that decimal. But so that's numbers there. So we talked about numbers. We talked about the rotation. We talked about how you can measure it if your spool or your reel doesn't say. Most of them, if they don't say on the reel, they will say on the box, obviously. But like you can tell, like that Abu Garcia was a 5 1-to-1 gear ratio. This, I don't know the brand of this. Give me a second here. It's Eagle Claw, Wright and McGill, and then it's the Skeet Reese model. And this gear ratio, this is my, I like using this rod for a lot of things. I generally use it for lighter soft plastics, but the gear ratio on this guy is a 5 8-to-1 gear ratio. So like I was telling you guys earlier, he's closer to 6, but it's still a little bit on the lower end. And then this guy here, I don't remember. Yeah, you can see here, he's a little bit faster. It's a 6 2-to-1. So there again, 6.2 to 1, you're going to have 6.2 turns for every 360-degree reel on your spool. So that's that. And then see if I can think of anything else to say. I guess the only other stuff I would mention or talk about is if you're only getting 1 or 2 reels, I would go around the 6 gear ratio. It's really good all around. Obviously, those reels I didn't pay attention to what gear ratio this was. Like this is a 5 1 to 1. That's a 6 2 to 1. So the 6 gear ratio is pretty good. 5 is all right. I've never had any problems getting tired reeling in a 5. But all around, if you're getting 1 or 2 reels, I go with a 6. And if you're gonna get 2, and you know your techniques, like if you're throwing something heavy, you're not gonna want to go with a really fast reel because it's going to be really hard to reel in that bait. So that's where a 5 or even a slower reel, if you're throwing heavy stuff all the time, you could look to get a 4, whatever reel. But for me, I've always been around, apparently because I didn't pay attention, 4, or not a 4. I've always been around a 5 or a 6 gear ratio reel. I did just order another reel. Hopefully we can do an unboxing on that. It's a Shimano, the standard SLX. That's pretty cool, hopefully. It's the most expensive reel I've bought, even though it's not that expensive, but I just wanted to upgrade one of my bait casters since I only have the one I really use. So looking forward to that, using that this year. That should be pretty neat. And I got that in a 6.2 to 1, I believe. So that's pretty much all that's happening right now. I'm getting a little off track here, running out of things to say. I think that's gonna do it for today's video of hopefully better getting you of hopefully it helped you guys get a better understanding of gear ratios on your fishing reels. I think that'll do it, as I just said. Thanks for watching.